things NFTs, smart contracts, and everything. And today we're going to be talking about what is a DAO in crypto, in NFTs, in smart contracts, in Web3. We're going to be talking about that all today and what this means for you and your money and going forward and investing. So before we get started, Brent, how are you doing today?
I am doing great, Doc. So everybody wants to tune into this one because we're going to dive deep into a DAO. And also, we're going to be talking about one of the ones that you may or may not be familiar with and looking at that value proposition inside of it.
All right, let's do it. All right, so we're going to get right into this. Remember, in the comment section, let us know what your questions and everything. Now, before we talk about the DAO that we plan on talking about, which is Friends with Benefits, if you're having questions, what is it? What does that mean? It is a decentralized autonomous organization. Now, what does that mean for you? That allows you to have so many different things, opportunities, perks, all of those things. But also keep in mind, they are very different from one community to the next. So let's go very basic, but if you want more information, there's a great explainer video talking about it from Whiteboard Crypto. We'll drop it in the comment section down below. But the bottom line, what it is it's an exclusive community that you're given rights to, okay? So you can be able to go into the group, but you either have to purchase a certain amount of tokens or a NFT to get in. So to me, it's just like, how do you get into Disney World? Guess what? You got to pay money to get in, or you got to have their coins to be able to go in or whatever. That's what it is. And that's what we're going to be exploring today. Just real quick too, if you're saying, well, I don't really think this is a big thing, I don't see this really happening. Well, that's why take a look at what A16Z, if anyone's heard of Andreessen Horowitz, that's what they just invested in a DAO right here. So if you're thinking like, no, it's a couple years away, I'm going to drop this as well, because guess what? The future is here. You're seeing huge companies that have already invested in Uber, Airbnb, I believe Dropbox, and Twitter. The list goes on and on. They understand where their internet is moving, and for them to invest in this, especially Friends with Benefits, it's only the beginning. Before I go into it, anything you want to say, Brent, or anything before we dive in and talk about it?
Yeah, well, I'll really quickly. When you say the future's here, just understand we're in the beginning parts of this being real time or generally accepted, and you want to be in that conversation when we're talking about the before part, because the after part, you can still make money in it, but you won't make as much money. That's what makes this conversation even more important, is the fact that it's still new information. Some of you all are hearing about it from the first time with us, and you still probably have questions like, well, I don't fully understand what it means or how it works or how it's going to benefit me. Stick around, we're going to dive into it.
Okay, so we're going to do, we're going to kind of just talk about the business model of Friends with Benefits, talk about what's going on with this specific one, kind of get the lay of the land. And if you have more questions about the general concept or, you know, the ones that I'm in about 2, I think right now, excuse me. I'm in Knights of Degen, and then also I'm in Developer DAO as well, where it's very specific developers from you know, ones that do Ruby on Rails, Python. They're all in their own DAO and going from there. So let's go. I'm going to kind of talk about Friends with Benefits. I'm going to talk about what they released as well for, you know, the preview for A16Z, and kind of go from there. So if you're looking at Friends with Benefits, the only thing is, this is one thing, especially in like Web3, I'm not a huge fan. I'm not a huge fan of most Web3 pages, maybe because I'm old or something. I just don't think they look that good, honestly. I'm going to be honest with you. I understand it's something new and they're trying to, but I remember when like GeoCities pages used to look like this. So I think a lot of, there might be younger ones that are like, oh, I never saw GeoCities. I just think this looks terrible, personally. That's just me. Okay, so we're going to take a look at what it's built on. It's built on React, and it's built on Next.js. That kind of makes sense because a lot of these Web3 platforms are built with that kind of things anyway, so it makes sense. Okay. So we're going to look at how we get involved and things like that. It says Friends with Benefit is the ultimate cultural membership powered by a community of our favorite Web3 artists, operators, and thinkers, bound together by shared values and shared incentives. The incentives is their own token, right? So it says to join FWB, you must hold a certain amount of cryptocurrency. This means that everyone in the community is literally invested in the community's success and gets to participate in the upside of the value we create together. So again, when you're looking at this, every DAO is totally different, depends on what you can do, but they're also allowing you to have a certain amount of power based on how much you're contributing part of it. So I'm going to go I'm just going to see what the mailing list looks like. I think I'm already on their mailing list.
And let's jump in right there, right? So when you hold a coin, what makes you have vested interest? I'm sure people are thinking. So with the Friends with Benefits coin, it works like a ticket. It gets you into the community, similar to the analogy that Doc gave earlier about Disney World. You can't go into Disney World without a ticket. And if you haven't been to Disney World in a while, they actually have, I think they're called Disney Bucks. So you can use Disney Bucks to do whatever you need to do inside the community. That is similar to having these coins. So you either can get the NFT, which is similar to the ticket, or you can get the coins, which is similar to getting their version of currency or some type of currency type model. And that gets you in. And once you're in, the benefits change. Again, going back to what Doc said, the benefits change based off of the DAO and who runs it, what the purpose of it is, and how the I guess the benefits are shared with the community.
And again, depending on which DAO you're in, like I know that depending on how much you're paying and stuff, if you're investing in projects or investing in different things, now I get to vote on it. I get to do these different things. And if you're looking at it, I mean, even going back in the day, a couple of years ago, maybe the audience knows this, maybe you know this, Brent, maybe you don't. But if you're looking at like Bitcoin, why there's like the two different, Bitcoin, why there's the two different Ethereums, right? There's
from the big hack.
Exactly. And what happened? It was the community deciding on what they were going to do, and half the community went one way, one community went the other way, and that's why you're seeing a difference, right? So it was voted upon what was going on, and then the community decided what they were going to do. Basically, the hack has to do with some of the community wanted to reset to a certain point of what was happening in the Ethereum ecosystem. Half the community wanted to reset it because there was a loss of money. Half the community didn't. And by the way, I'm making this super simplistic. There's a lot of politics and there's layers, but just to get the narrative and like down. And so because of that, that was the main rift of what happened. And then that is why Ethereum, you have two different types, all of those kind of things. And so when you're in Friends with Benefits or any of these other DAOs, you're going to, again, be able to participate in what you want. Now, what's interesting is they just had recently, you could do a couple different things and with Friends with Benefits. So we're going to go in a little bit different. So we're going to read the manifesto and kind of detail it a little bit more, right? So Friends with Benefit, again, it's the intersection of favorite technology and cultural communities. You are a collective of unique individuals pushing for a bright future, a world in which prosperity is abundant and technology acts as a communal connective tissue. We believe in Web3 world. Again, what is Web3? Depends on who you ask, but generally it has to do with blockchain, machine learning, and AI. And we believe in Web3 world where data and payments are fluid and controlled by the creators. So again, there's not a central place or like Stripe or something like that. It's peer-to-peer, basically. We believe in the pursuit of open knowledge for the greater good. The tools for connecting the dots are finally here. Technology is constantly evolving, and blockchain technology, a fluid and open system, is suited to help us catalyze change. Friends with Benefits are creators. Okay, so it's mentioned kind of what it was. Now it says we ask the following for these principles. It says shared identity, diversity, inclusion, responsibility, peace of mind. Okay, so it says altogether, these principles serve as the foundation for a community focused on the future of culture. The more it grows, the more it's on you to help ensure the group retains the values that help get the community to where it is today. Look forward to growing together. Okay, so that is that section right here. And then let's talk about joining. Okay, membership options. Okay, so what's interesting is, and one of the main creators have talked about this um, on a couple different programs, but if you look at it, there's a couple different tiers of what's happening. So join friends with benefits. The options you can do: full membership grants you access to the entire ecosystem, learning, education, lifestyle, culture, NFT. Complete the membership application, join our Discord. Once approved, buy $70 worth of their token. Okay, so we're going to look at the 75. I believe, I don't want to, we'll take a look at this. We're going to go step by step on this because I'm pretty sure I know the price, but things could have changed. Okay, so we have the full membership here. Complete an application. What does the application look like? Okay, so the membership application is very important. Part of the member selection process, an application reviewed by the committee. Anonymous, okay, applications are highly rejected, okay. Makes sense. Sharing your professional history. We don't require them more than 3 to 5 sentences. I think I'm going to fill one out right now and see what happens. Include your Twitter and Instagram so they can see who you are. Prioritizes under, diversity. I try to do it as an intern because I didn't want to pay the prices, but I'll see about just doing it this way. Okay, so we have to do that. Now, the one thing that I'll keep in mind before we go through this process, I'm going to just give you a spoiler. And I think, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure like the full membership is closer to about 5K. I think it's around that. When you have enough Ethereum, then you switch it over. I think it's about 5K. I think
Doc,
the local
with the base membership, I still don't understand what you get. It says, have you ever watched 30 Rock?
Yeah.
So it was episode of 30 Rock where they were talking about the fact that when you start a company, as long as you use the right words, no one cares what the company's about.
Yeah, I agree.
And I think Jack, he was trying to do a commercial. So it was Windstream. And Windstream's commercial was technology, wind power, America, Eagles, we're winning. Invest today in Windstreams. And he was running like a Bernie Madoff type of Ponzi scheme, but he made off with millions. And it just had those flashing words. And so when we read stuff like this, how do we know what we're actually getting?
Yeah, I'm going to be honest with you. I mean, I don't try to mince words with this.
Yeah.
It's so new. There are 2 different types of people in NFTs and Web3. I believe there's ones that are philosophically trying to change the world and change access to what's happening, and they're very whimsical about this. For example, if you ask someone about like crypto and NFTs, you're like, okay, so what is this worth? And they're like, well, do you understand what fiat money is? What is that worth? And you're like, oh my God, okay, here we go, right? And then there's some that will lean in and be like, this is really cool. This is a really cool community. I think this is going to be big. I think we can make a lot of money in this. See also A16Z. And then they don't really care what access is. If people feel like there's a bull rush or feel like there's some kind of FOMO, they're buying in. So the reality of this is, I believe it is people that are very well connected in Web3. There are people that are the OGs, which are, spoiler, less than 18 months can be an OG in this space. And they're moving through the world and they're seeing what they can create and what kind of assets that they can consume or get. The bottom line is, I don't think there's much. I think you're paying, to me, I'm paying for access in a club to the VIP section, and I'm paying for access to people. Anything else of learning and education lifestyle, you're getting invites to events, and you might get airdrops certain projects, and that's how I view it.
This thing literally says learning, education, lifestyles and culture, NFT plus trading alpha, cities, events, and governance.
There you go. You get to vote on saying, that sounds like, you know what? I mean, maybe I remember like one of my favorite movies, Little Rascals. Okay. You're just part of the club. Like, that's all it is. You're part of a club. I mean, I don't see this any different than if they created, listen, if Drake created something like this, where he's like, I'm going to be here and you get access, it's going to cost you 5,000, and it could be a Discord group, people would pay it. And I view it the same way. I'm not, yes, I understand they could be teaching you and being able to scale. And yes, there are a few things, projects obviously on Web3, such as we talked about it, the audio version, basically the Web3 version of SoundCloud. Yes, there are interesting projects, but to me, I don't see anything different than I'm just paying for exclusivity. That's the only thing. Now, I believe in the future, you're going to be able to, where it says governance, you can vote on certain things the club is doing. It's still just a club. That's all it is. So I call it now, again, there might be other people. And if you talk to the founders, they might have a different view. I've also been with startups, and I know how CEOs are very charming and can and speak. And if they believe that, like Brent, I believe in cognitive dissonance. If they've convinced themselves to that point, like, good health to you. If that's what you've gotten yourself to, I just personally don't view it more than a club at this point, and I'm paying for access. That's me. That's me. People might disagree, but that's I don't see it more than that. And so I clearly understand if I get an application and I'm in, they view that whatever I'm bringing, I can do no code or something. It's enough to the community. But let's not pretend. Andreessen Horowitz is not going to invest if they don't think there's a crap ton of money available for this. And if that is readily shown right here, you mentioned at the beginning of the top of the show, like getting in early. I think there's a model for this where it's just the beginning. And if you understand the ecosystem, if you understand how to structure this thing, it can be very profitable and super lean to run operations like this. And number two, if you look at this, the opposite is that it can be whatever you make of it later on. So if you're saying it's going to be X amount of tokens and then you decide to change what it is or how much those tokens are to buy, with Uniswap or something, now we're on a totally different level because the buying power. If they're having each person to be in the group because Ethereum is hitting all-time high, now that's all money that they can now shift around to buy for buying power or for movements and everything like that. So I'll stop ranting at that.
No, that's a very honest rant. But it's true. Like when you're in, you have to figure out like why are you going to join and what is the benefit, because you're agreeing to buy $75 worth of the token once you're in.
Yep. And we'll talk about the swap, how much that is, and all of those things. So, okay. So now the difference between a full membership and a local membership is, again, local membership, I can only interact with people by my local branch, basically. So it's a lot less to get in. I think it's like $5. Yeah, it's $5. We'll check out what that price is in a moment.
I think it was $75 or something last time I looked. Let me check.
Was it?
I'll pull it up.
And from there, I can do stuff locally. And so I'm going to apply for the application, go through the process of what worked, what didn't work, and kind of go from there. And if anyone's just joining and having questions of what we're looking at, what a DAO is, again, it is a decentralized autonomous organization. So you're basically buying tickets to something. And we're gonna delve into it. What's up? How much?
3 days ago, it was at $75. It is now $110.
Yeah, I better do that now. So 100. So it's 110. So local price is 110. What's in it for a full membership? 75.
75. 7,500.
It's 7,500.
Roughly,
right?
Yeah.
Okay, so yep. Let's try to make this into local. I'm not paying for full membership. Okay. So let's take a look at this. So completing this, I've got to complete the application process. Join the Discord. Let's take a look at this. Okay, the membership is very important. I already did it, kind of, but I was trying to do it if I could, do it for benefits, application. Okay, let's do a local level.
All
Okay,
right, and
just
let me stand corrected too while you're doing this. I'm looking at the price chart on coinmarketcap.com. If anybody wants to know where I'm looking this information up, it's coinmarketcap.com. And my correction is I thought it was $75 a few days ago, but I'm looking at the 1 month chart and it's actually the lowest it's been during this month is 104.
okay.
So it's actually only up $6, but it's at its highest peak in the last month. It was 150, and that was on 10/27/2021.
Well, it makes sense. That's when they A16Z put it out, right? You said 1027.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So this one is 1027. So when they announced it on
Yeah.
A16Z, it makes sense.
Yeah, that makes perfect sense. And this is
Um,
also why news is important, right? Understanding what's going on with the groups that you're in and who's invested in them.
Mm-hmm. All right, let's take a look. I gotta look at my every single time it does this. Hold on 1 second. Discord username. Let's do example username and then that one. Let me do my username.
And while you're doing that, this is again, I'm gonna give you all some chart information while he's doing that. So the coin 3 months ago was priced at $55.86 per coin. So you're talking about a coin that has appreciated roughly 100% in just a 3 month period. Mm-hmm. To give you any perspective or some perspective, your average savings account right now is providing with 0.06% on your money for the year. I'm say it again. The average savings account in the United States of America is giving you 0.06% on your money for the year. This particular coin has appreciated in price 100% in less than 3 months.
Sounds like it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Let's see.
And if you go back to a year, 1 year ago, this coin was $6.08.
Yeah. Yeah, that's incredible.
Yeah, it's almost 1,000% rate of return.
And you see, it's just that is just one of countless other communities that are doing the same exact thing. Some are even crazier than that.
Crazy. That word keeps coming up.
Here we go.
It just flows.
So right here, it's just basically right now I'm just getting a bunch of my information, going over. Okay, I'm getting my address. Okay, so I had to get my account information.
Do you need to stop the share for any of this and come back?
Nah, it's
okay.
that the one that you need is just public because they're gonna ask me for my wallet. Okay. So it's okay. But thank you. If anyone, my older streams when I was like, my channel is not that big. No one's watching me. I used to say that. Don't ever do that.
Oh, I've learned. Yeah.
Let's see. Let me just putting my Twitter stuff, Instagram stuff.
So are these mandatory?
Some are, some aren't. The reason I'm adding this, that's a really good question. The reason I'm adding this is it's still an application. They can still deny it, right? Mm-hmm. So I'm trying to show them as much information as possible about me, just so they know what I'm about. So, and they were saying the more anonymous you are, the less likely they're going to allow you in the community because they don't want people just spamming people. And so there's that. Did someone refer you to this? I'm going to say referred to after watching Hanson office hours. Okay. Nearest city by you. I think they have, they got Baltimore in this piece. I would have never guessed. Where is Washington? See, but then Washington, D.C., or you know what I'm saying? You know what
or
I'm
is
saying?
it Washington State?
You know, it just is Washington. I'm thinking it's just Washington. You know what I'm saying?
I go Baltimore.
Yeah, I think you're right. Select an option. I would say curator. crypto enthusiast. I'm not a whale.
What does curator mean? I think it means you make something.
I would say curator is you're seeing a bunch of content and you're curating that. So you're almost like, I view it as someone that's like taking the best of everything and putting it together for resources.
Okay.
That's what I would do. That's what I would do. Create primary interests. Did I already say that? Crypto, hospitalities, NFTs. I think just technology. They need to stop giving me so many choices. They need a minimum or a maximum on this. Okay, so we have that. Tell us a little bit about yourself. Catch us up, who you are. I am a brand developer focused on learning new things and helping as many people as possible to become their own media
You should
company.
just simply say, "I'm Doc. Look me up,"
and
then put a choice word after that.
You know what? That's why I'm filling that. This is why you're not filling out my surveys. Tell us about your personal. Oh, I thought it was a personal life. I was like, what in the world? What was your favorite job? That's interesting. That's interesting.
That is interesting.
Huh. And founding micro branding company. Let's see. Live streaming. How to build. This is week. It brings you what can you bring to FWB? Let's see. I have started. Well, let's be honest. Let's see. Started over 15 businesses. I've had 56 jobs.
56 jobs? You better not say that because they may want to look. They might ask you to name them.
I can name them though. I actually wrote them all down.
Do you want to rename them?
That's another thing. What should I just write here? I'm just gonna send them a video. I'm just gonna do YouTube.
Just say
video.
20 and then just give them the last 20.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm just gonna send them video links. This is just ridiculous.
That's boss stuff right there.
Like, come on now.
So for everybody watching right now, think about what you want to put in these questions, how you want to answer them. For me, I would have put 5, and I would just name the last 5, but I might not get in the group. So you want to give enough information where you're actually going to get real consideration for some of these groups, because there are some that have an application fee just to make sure you're a real person. And then there are others who have an application fee because they truly are trying to keep the culture the way they want it. Mm-hmm. So just understand when you're filling it out, don't just throw anything on these forums because you can end up not getting into a group you really wanted to get into. And then once they block you, some of them have lists of who they blocked. So if you just change the email and come back, they actually know who you are. So again, be cognizant when you're filling this out to, put what you really want to represent you. And also, Doc is much more patient than I am. My level of patience is like non-existent. So I've been looking at Friends with Benefits as a possible purchase of the coin was called the underlying. So if you ever heard the term underlying, it just means the asset under question. So that would be, the symbol is FWB. But you should know this too. If you have, let's say, Coinbase or Coinbase Pro, Crypto.com, Robinhood, and I believe all of those, you can't purchase FWB Friends with Benefits directly through their interface. You have to do it through like a Uniswap, SushiSwap, or you can do it through, I believe, Binance .us. I mean, not .us, Binance, the general body. But if you're in the US, you have to have a VPN to get to the traditional Binance platform. So that's a little more complicated.
They have 11,000 members
In their Discord group.
Yeah. That's
So
pretty crazy.
in isolation of knowing what that number means, is that a lot or a little bit?
Well, they have 11,000 and 2,000 are online. That shows that it's pretty healthy.
Okay.
If you've got that many, like, because there's some that are just bloated, right? There's some that are just like, hey, we've got this many members, but if they're not active on the server, there's no point. There's no point. So that shows that they're really healthy. And also, too, I'm just gathering how much money that is that they have based on tokens. Now, of course, excuse me, some are older, right? So when did they join? Stuff like that. But still, that's not bad. Okay. So went through that. Local, did the application, join, once approved, buy. Okay, so now that we've gone through that, it doesn't mean that I'll be approved. We'll see what happens. But I put it in. Now, the thing is, I might go and just buy the token just to see. I also think this too. Correct me if I'm wrong. Even if I don't get in, but if I buy the token and it goes up in value.
Yeah, you own the token.
So I don't see it being, I see it being a win-win either way. Let's see. Let's see. What is your friends with benefits? Blah, blah, blah. Let's go through this and see, trying to do it.
I want to say on their site, on the page before we got here, it listed a platform that you can buy it on. If you go back one.
On the full membership one or the full
local
page?
Local.
Okay. I'm on local.
So it has
how to
MetaMask.
install. Yeah, so it's saying how to install MetaMask, how to send Ethereum to your wallet. Okay, with Ethereum, blah, 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 blah. Here's a tutorial, how to use Uniswap.
So is the symbol $ FWB or is it just FWB?
Pretty sure the $.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know. I would assume it is.
I'm looking it up too.
I'm putting that in the chat. I would assume anyway. Let's take a look here. Let me take a look. What in the world? Where am I? I have way too many things going on here. Okay. All right. Let me take a look. All right. Let me move that over. Can you hear the audio or no?
No, you can't hear it. But just giving you a heads up on coinmarketcap.com. It has Friends with Benefits Pro coin listed as just FWB, no $. So, but it says Pro. I don't know what Pro means.
Interesting. Okay, let's see. Okay, so with Ethereum in your MetaMask, you can swap your Ethereum, okay, at the Uniswap exchange by clicking this link. Okay. Click that link. I got to see how much is in this wallet too. How much was it, you said?
It is $110.23. And it is...
Yes, I just have enough in this wallet. Let's do it. This token doesn't appear to be active token list. Make sure that this token is that you want to trade. Okay, I'm going to say yes. Import. Has the right symbol. Now, how much do I need to do? Basically, this I've got like 100 something in this account. So,
oh, it's now $110.68.
Stop stressing me out. See. How much do I need? Look at that. So
I think it's 0.02316 Ethereum.
how much is it?
0.023.
Look at this right here, though. If I'm looking for 5, look at this, right? That's
Mhm.
only getting me 1, right? So let's hypothetically, right? So if I do
Mhm.
0.1, look at that, right? So I'm
Mhm.
looking at this. So really, to get 5, I really need to pay like probably
500 and
Bob Hub. Yeah.
$550.
Yeah. So that's substantially different.
One coin versus 5 coins. But I mean, you got to think the top coin. I mean, the top platform
No.
tier is 75.
No, but yeah, that makes sense. So that makes sense. So this is just so perspective. So to get what? So you were quoting me 1 coin, not the
One coin,
5 that I would need.
not the
See
5.
what? Look at this. I was like, what in the world?
No,
Okay,
I
so
said
what
per coin.
point? I didn't listen. Okay, so basically, I need to put 600 in this account.
Yeah,
I can
because
use
it's going to be 550.
600. Okay, that's not bad, but that's good to know. So first of all, we got to first get approved all this stuff. But either way, just like what Brent was saying, I might just buy a coin right now just to keep getting more. Let's see. What was that? What
Per
did I
coin.
get?
Oh, it
Yeah.
just went down, so it's $110.37 now. And anybody who doesn't know, cryptocurrency prices fluctuate
Change
24 hours
all
a
the
day,
time.
7 days a week. Unlike the stock market where it closes, crypto doesn't close.
Let's do this. So in the interim, because I
It's
know I have to.
0.02316 Ethereum.
You know what? Okay. You're talking to someone that has severe dyslexia. You're throwing numbers out. If you don't put this in the chat, I got to keep looking back.
Okay, no, I got you. In where you are right now,
Yeah.
0.02316.
2, 3, 1, 6.
Yep.
All right. Let's swap this bad boy. Okay. Confirm swap. Blah, 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 blah. Detected. Blah, 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 blah. You know
You did
what?
this in Uniswap?
Yeah.
Cool.
Let's see.
So just another factoid, depending on what platform you buy your currencies through, the price is actually different. So on Coin Marketplace, it may say one thing, but then when you get to Uniswap or SushiSwap or Binance, it could be a completely different price. Now, it'll be close. In most cases, it'll be very within I say 10 to 15% swing. But different platforms sell these coins at different prices. So you should be aware of that. In addition to the fees will be different.
Checking right now. See, what's happening is the gas fees. So gas fees are just throwing back. So I forget. This is another thing. This is just me. No one has to do this. I usually only buy stuff at night because I know people are awake right now, and the gas fees are ridiculous at this time of day.
Yeah, you should wait.
I'm just gonna wait. But this is really easy to do, and I like how easy they're having the links, just what to do, and then go from there. So number one, we have to get approved first. I'm gonna see if they're allowing me into the group. That's number one. Number two, I'm just always, especially if it's not like a huge. By the way, could you explain, because I think I'm explaining it wrong. Could you describe like a bull run? When people say this is a bull run,
Yeah.
Could you describe that, please?
Yeah, super simple. It just means that the price is going up incredibly fast. That's it. But just imagine a bunch of bulls running through the street. There's a bunch of people running to this particular coin or stock, whatever it may be, and that herd of people are driving the price up in a manner that's artificial to its normal growth rate. So it normally doesn't grow like that, and all of a sudden it goes from like 110 to 300. So Ethereum just had a bull run.
Yeah.
And with the announcement that Bitcoin will now be accepted by governors as like a form of payment, that's what drove Bitcoin up.
Yeah. Yeah. What does it mean? Like, say, for instance, what's a bear market? How would you describe that?
Yeah. So if you saw a bear, what would you do?
I'd run away.
Everybody's running away from the market. And
Mm.
because they're running away from the market, there's no perceived value in everything that's there. Like if you saw everybody running away from a store, you probably wouldn't walk into that store. And so everything in that store, if enough people stay away long enough, the prices on those items on the shelf will start to drop because the owners of the store just want to sell it. And so it's the best analogy I can give to give somebody a visual of what those things mean.
That makes sense. Thank you. No, I always hear it, and I see people putting up these crazy graphs on Twitter. I'm like, but they say it so quick, and I'm like, I don't really understand what they're saying. They're just showing me charts, and they're saying a lot of things. I'm like, I don't really understand that.
Yeah, no.
And when I hear bull and bear, I'm thinking strength. I'm not thinking about like the whole analogy of what to do with it, because that's yeah. So that's what I was like, I do not know what these means. I hear them, but I want to make sure. Okay, cool.
Yeah, and to give you like the background of that, and maybe it'll stick with everybody who's watching with this, maybe it won't, but this is the scuttlebutt about the bull and the bear. So when a bear charges, when a bull charges, it thrusts its head up. So most of the time the bull is going to try to gorge something and then thrust his head up. When a bear charges something, the first thing it's going to do is swipe its paw down. So that's why they call it the bull and bear.
You investing people are crazy, but thank you so much for that. So good time. So again, this is what we're talking about. We're going to be again going more in depth. If you're interested in this, remember there's a link down below. If you're watching on Twitch, if you're watching on YouTube, all of those things. Remember, to get more information about this, you can join the Discord. Make sure that you follow the link. I'm going to drop it in a moment. And this is all about understanding what's going on and really building the community around that. So if you're interested, make sure that you join and you're part of the community, and we'll go from there. Brent, what do we have on the docket later this week, or what we're going to be doing next time?
Yeah, next time we're going to look what happens when Doc actually gets in. So this is going to be the evolution. Like now, now that he's applying, hopefully he gets approved. What happens when he gets in? I'm going to apply after we get off, and between the two of us, somebody should get in, and we get to show you. So you get to see the back end without paying $500. So that's worth the price of admission, as they say right there. And later on this week, we'll probably make an announcement about some projects we're working on. You definitely want to stay close to get those announcements, because you're going to see me try to push Doc to his limits. So we're going to have a lot of fun. And Doc is going to probably have a field day confusing the heck out of me with all the terms and items that we have to do to get prepared for what we're bringing to you all next.
Yep. And just to show, Brent, I was supposed to send you this last night, but we're here right now. But you're going to be getting a link from this. This is what I use when I'm planning anything out. Now, this might seem like first you're seeing the quadrant over here, but really I love this because this is just one of my content breakdowns. But like here, number one, I can add different post-it notes. I love this. The progression of what's happening of anything. And this is Miro, what I was talking about yesterday. And as you're looking at, this is for my content lens. Like, so some people are like, well, how do you create content? Like, what's your process? This is literally from step by step, how I create all of my content, how it goes through the inventory, and how I systematically go through quarters per week and everything like that. So that's what we're going to be using for Miro and all of those things. And thank you, Erica. Thank you for being here too. And thank you for joining. And so, yeah, we're going to have a lot more details, what we're going to be talking about, and working through this. So again, everybody, thanks so much. Remember, the links are down below. We'll see you next time. And again, tell other people if you like this type of material, make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel. Send out the link. We're doing this live on Twitter as well with their live, their new system and everything. So if you're interested in this, let us know, and we'll be back next week. All right, everybody, take care.